Why it's so hard to succeed. The truth about the survivorship bias. You have probably heard the success stories, how one lucky break or a genius idea turned someone's life around. Maybe it's the self-made millionaire or the athlete who defied all odds. But what if I told you that those stories only show you part of this picture? What if behind every success is a sea of people who started the same way but didn't make it? That's where survivorship bias comes in, an invisible force that shapes how we see success. It makes us believe that success is a straight line, when in reality it's often about survival, timing, and a whole lot of unseen struggles. In this video, I'm going to reveal why it's so hard to succeed, why the stories we see might be misleading, and how survivorship bias distorts our understanding of success. You'll learn why failure is just as important as success, and how seeing both sides of the story can completely change how you approach your own goals. What is survivorship bias? Survivorship bias is the tendency to focus only on the successful outcomes, ignoring those who tried and failed. Imagine you're watching a documentary about successful entrepreneurs. You see the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musks, the billionaires who made it big. And you think to yourself, if they can do it, why can't I? But here's the catch. You only see the survivors, the ones who made it through the tough journey. You never hear about the countless others who tried just as hard but never got the big break. The bias happens when we look at successful people and think their path is the only path to success. We assume that all we need is the right idea or the perfect moment, ignoring the fact that many of the most successful people faced immense challenges, failures, and even luck to get where they are. Survivorship bias tricks us into thinking success is just about grit or genius, but in reality, it's often more complicated than that. It's about survival in a brutal game, where many others simply don't make it. Recognizing this bias helps us see success for what it really is, often the result of a unique combination of talent, timing, and sheer persistence. How survivorship bias distorts our views. Survivorship bias distorts our understanding of success by creating an illusion of simplicity. When we look at successful individuals or companies, we tend to overlook the hurdles, failures, and setbacks they faced. All we see is the final product, the reward, the sleek businesses, the celebrated athletes, the viral stars. This bias distorts our expectations. We are led to believe that success is just a matter of trying harder, of putting in more work. But survivorship bias hides the reality that it often takes more than just effort. It takes timing, luck, and a multitude of factors that can't always be controlled or replicated. As a result, we set ourselves for disappointment thinking that failure is a personal flaw, when in fact, it's often a part of the process we simply don't see in the success stories we admire. The lottery effect. Success is not random. When we think about success, we often fall into the trap of believing that it's like winning the lottery. A random stroke of luck. We see someone rise from humble beginnings to fame and fortune, and we think, if I just work hard enough, I could be the next big winner. But the truth is, success is rarely random. It's a complex combination of factors, most of which are out of our control. Take the tech world, for example. Think about companies like Facebook or Instagram, startups that exploded seemingly overnight. It's easy to assume that if you launch a similar business and work hard enough, you'll hit the jackpot too. But the reality is, these companies were in the right place at the right time, with the right team, and a bit of luck thrown into the mix. The same goes for athletes, artists, and even actors. While talent and hard work are critical, so is timing. Being in the right place at the right moment can be the deciding factor between success and failure. Success isn't a roll of the dice, but it's also not always something we can plan for. Understanding this can help us approach our goals with more realistic expectations, knowing that there are factors outside our control that play a huge role in the outcome. Hidden struggles, the stories you don't hear about. We love a good success story, the rise of an entrepreneur from nothing to something, the athlete who fought through adversity to reach the top. But what we don't know and often hear about are the countless struggles, setbacks, and failures that happen along the way. These hidden struggles are the missing pieces in the success stories we admire. and they are crucial to understanding what real success looks like. Behind every success story, there are often years of rejection, failure, and sacrifice. Consider the career of famous musicians or writers. We only hear about their chart-topping hits or best-selling novels, but we rarely hear about the years of rejection letters or low-paying gigs. The world of sports is full of athletes who faced injuries, lost contracts, or were cut from teams, only to come back stronger. These struggles often become the stories that define their success, even if they are not in front and center in the narrative we hear. The problem with focusing only on the wins is that it makes us forget that failure is an essential part of the journey. Struggles shape and refine people, pushing them to grow and adapt in ways success alone never could. When we ignore these struggles, we overlook the resilience and persistence required to achieve great things. Why it's so hard to succeed? The numbers don't lie. We all hear stories about how hard work leads to success, but the truth is, the odds of making it big are often stacked against you. Whether you are trying to break into a competitive industry, launch a startup, or become a professional athlete, success is anything but guaranteed. The number tells a very different story than what we often see portrayed in the media. These statistics don't mean you shouldn't try. They highlight the reality of the odds you are up against. Success is not just about working harder or wanting it more. It's about understanding that the path is tough and unpredictable. Many factors, including timing, networking, and sometimes just plain luck, play a crucial role. Recognizing the difficulty of success can help manage expectations and create a mindset that focuses on progress and growth rather than just the outcome. The mental toll of survivorship bias. Survivorship bias isn't just misleading, it can also take a serious mental toll. When we focus only on the success stories, we start to internalize the idea that if we are not succeeding, we are somehow falling short. We look at the winners, whether they are in business, sports, or entertainment, and we see only their triumphs. What we don't see is the mental and emotional strain they have experienced along the way. This selective view can create unrealistic expectations. When you are consistently comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel, it's easy to feel like you are falling even when you are doing everything right. It makes failure feel personal, even though it's a natural part of the process. Survivorship bias can lead to burnout, self-doubt, and a constant feeling of inadequacy because you are judging yourself by an incomplete narrative. The mental toll is profound. You start questioning your abilities, believing that success is something others have mastered, but that you'll never achieve. Understanding survivorship bias helps alleviate this pressure. It reminds you that success is complex and failure is not a reflection of personal worth, but part of a broader, more complicated journey. Only then can you break free from the weight of these distorted comparisons. The importance of understanding failure. We often fear failure, but understanding it is crucial for growth. The problem with survivorship bias is that it hides failure from our view. We are shown only the winners, the ones who persevered through failure and came out to the other side, often without knowing the full story of what they lost along the way. Failure is not just an obstacle, it's a vital part of success. Every failure teaches something, whether it's perseverance, adaptation, or simply learning what doesn't work. Without failure, there is no opportunity for real growth. The key to success lies in how we respond to failure, not in avoiding it altogether. The more we understand this, the less we fear taking risks, and the more we embrace failure as a teacher. When we recognize that failure is a shared experience among all the successful people, we can shift our mindset. Instead of fearing failure, we can focus on what we can learn from it, how we can use it to improve, and how it helps refine our path. Survivorship bias hides these valuable lessons by focusing on the final product and ignoring the messy, imperfect process behind it. Understanding failure, however, equips us to succeed more effectively in the long run. How to overcome survivorship bias in your own life. Overcoming survivorship bias in your life starts with a shift in perspective. The first step is recognizing that success stories are often incomplete. When you hear about someone else's breakthrough, ask yourself, what didn't they tell me? The behind-the-scenes struggles, the failed attempts, the sacrifices, all of these are critical to the story. and they are just as important as the success. Challenge the unrealistic expectations set by these biased stories. Instead of focusing on the outcome, focus on your process. Embrace failure as part of your journey and learn from each setback. Start to see every mistake not as a sign of personal inadvocacy, but as a stepping stone to improvement. Real success isn't about avoiding failure, but about using it to refine your strategy and strengthen your resolve. To wrap things up, understanding the survivorship bias helps us see success in a more realistic light. It's not just about the winners, but also about the struggles, failures, and the often unseen challenges that lead to success. When we stop comparing our journey to others' highlight reels, we can appreciate the growth that comes with every setback and learn to navigate the path with patience and resilience. So take these insights, apply them to your own journey, and remember that true success is about progress, not perfection. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who need this perspective. Thank you so much for watching, and keep pushing forward.